Donald Trump has been making headlines saying that if elected, he wouldn't just go after terrorists, he would kill their families. And while the media has been shocked by this, why weren't they outraged when President Obama actually did it? This is a reality check you won't see anywhere else.
I would be very, very firm with families. And frankly, that will make people think, because they may not care much about their lives, but they do care, believe it or not, about their families' lives.
That was Donald Trump insisting that he would be so tough on terror that if elected, he would kill terrorists and he would target their families as well. So while the media scrambles to demonize remarks about killing family members of terrorists, and by the way, they should, they seem to forget their collective silence when President Obama didn't talk about doing that. He actually did it. You probably don't recognize this man right here, but his name is Anwar al-Awlaki, an American-born Muslim cleric who at one time was invited to the Pentagon after 9/11 to talk about the role of Muslims in America. But al-Awlaki became increasingly angry at the U.S. government spying on Muslims in mosques, and he left the U.S. in 2004, and he traveled back to Yemen, where he became radicalized. See, the U.S. government called him an inspiration for the Fort Hood shooter, the failed underwear bomber, the failed Times Square bomber. On September 30th, 2011, President Obama ordered a drone strike that killed al-Awlaki along with another U.S. citizen. Plenty of you watching will say, so what? He was a terrorist. You wouldn't be concerned about the fact that al-Awlaki was a U.S. citizen who got no due process, but that's a discussion for another time. Because the point I want to make today is not about this man, al-Awlaki. It's actually about what happened 2 weeks later. Because 2 weeks after killing al-Awlaki, President Obama ordered a second drone strike. This one killed al-Awlaki's 16-year-old son, Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki. Who was he? Well, he too was a U.S. citizen. He was born in Denver, Colorado. He was not a member of al-Qaeda. He was not a militant. He had not lived with his father for over 2 years because Anwar al-Awlaki had gone into hiding. Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki was not at a terror training camp when he was killed on September 4th, 2013. He was at his second cousin's home, a cousin he had lived with while his father had been in hiding. In fact, this teenager was the son of a man the U.S. government had decided was an enemy, and yet he himself was not even on the president's kill list. What's worse, after killing that 16-year-old, the Obama administration justified the killing by essentially saying that he should have had a better father.
That's an American citizen that's being targeted without due process of law, without trial, and he's underage, he's a minor.
I would suggest that you should have a far more responsible father if they're truly concerned about the well-being of their children. I don't think becoming an al-Qaeda jihadist terrorist is the best way to go about doing your business.
So what you need to know is that when Donald Trump says he would kill the families of terrorists, members of the media point to the Geneva Convention, insisting that to kill terrorist families would be a war crime. And they certainly might be right. So why have they been so quiet when this president has actually done it? That's Reality Check. Let's talk about that tonight on Twitter.